Hi, everyone. This is Barb Dufferin, Superintendent, and I want to just briefly walk you through our new COVID-19 District Dashboard. A number of you have been asking for information specifically about each specific building, and although we have been tracking this information since the beginning of the year regarding our COVID-19 positive cases as well as our quarantine information, we haven't publicly shared this information because school numbers were low and could have been identified to specific students and staff. But this week, we've created this dashboard that both protects the privacy of our staff and students and also shares the information that you've been asking for that allows our community to understand our district and school COVID-19 data. So I'd like to just briefly walk you through it. But before I do, I just want to remind you about our COVID case notifications at Mahtomedi Public Schools. You will hear from us if your child has an exposure or a close contact, and you will receive an email notification for the exposure with some detail about what to watch for. And also, if you have a close contact situation, you'll receive phone and email notification regarding what the quarantine might look like. One other notification that we haven't needed to do until now is when we hit that point where we have a K-12, one of our schools that has 5 or more cases of COVID-19 in students or staff who are in the building while infectious during a 2-week reporting period. At that time, MDH does place us on their website, and we are listed, and we are listed now for our high school. We did anticipate this. I mentioned it last week at the board meeting that we were anticipating being on that list. So this is our dashboard, and I will say that we started by using the same way of reporting our student and staff positive COVID-19 cases by using over the last 2 weeks. And that's the same metric or the same way of reporting, excuse me, that MDH is also using. In order to protect student and staff privacy, if the number's under 3, we did have that, that less than 3 is noted. We have also our school year total of student and staff positive COVID-19 cases. So you have a picture of what it looks like over time. And then also we are reporting this week's students who are quarantined due to close contact or a positive COVID-19 test, and this week's staff who are quarantined due to close contact or positive COVID-19 test. This is the data that ended on October 23rd. And at that time, we were not listed on the Minnesota Department of Health website, but it is because of this data that we are. This is our data for this week, and we are going to update it tomorrow. I wanted to show it to you this evening so you could compare the two, but it isn't completely updated because we are going to update it every Friday. That is our intention. So again, we're using the same ways of reporting this data, and you'll notice in the final column, we were listed for Mahtomedi High School on the Minnesota Department of Health website for a school building that had 5 or more positive cases over the last 2 weeks. We also do track our data over time with Washington County numbers, and I think it was on the 12th. I was in a meeting, and one of you out there asked me about how we were going to be able to pull out our correctional facilities, the outbreak at our correctional facilities with regard to these numbers from Washington County. And so I have been working with our Washington County Public Health Department to try and get a handle on how we could communicate those numbers differently. And so I am really thankful for their work, and I am thankful that they were able to pull that apart for us and be able to report those differently. So you'll notice in this, the top number is our 14-day case rate per 10,000 people from Washington County, but the one in gold below it is the case rate if we pull out the outbreak in the correctional facilities. So that gives you a little bit different perspective on what the outbreak looks like. So this is the charts that you've seen quite a bit, and how it is that it kind of compares to where we are with our COVID-19 data in Washington County. And so this is the learning model chart that we've talked about with you before. And so I wanted to let you know how that data looked here. So as a reminder, this is our learning model change process. We use a number of indicators to reflect the need to shift to a different learning model. And so I am going to be discussing some of that on Monday at our board meeting. Know that I do watch the daily Washington County numbers. I keep my own spreadsheets in order to anticipate the 2-week county numbers. So we were anticipating, as I mentioned last week, we were anticipating this increase in the number of cases within our county. Our team also keeps the data regarding the cases in the school, and then we use this information to consult with our local public health team and our regional support team. So I just want you to know this is all information I'll be using in the discussion on Monday night, but I did want to be able to show this to you ahead of time as you have been asking for it. So thank you and have a good night.